Good afternoon, folks. Robert Chappell here, Executive Editor, Madison365, with your daily update for today, Monday, April 11th, 2022. It is Monday. That means it is Metcalf's Monday. Metcalf's is a fourth generation, family-owned and operated market with stores in Madison at Hilldale and behind the Westtown Mall and in Wauwatosa at 68th and State. Right now, they are stocked with everything you need for an amazing Easter meal, including the hams and the produce from local farms. You can order everything for pickup or delivery at shopmetcalfs.com anytime. We thank Metcalfs for their support of Madison365 and the daily update. Let's jump into some COVID news because the numbers are not looking great. And when I say that, I mean the numbers of cases. Okay, there's two things here to keep in mind. There's the number of cases, and there's the consequences of those cases. If we have lots and lots of cases, and very few people land in the hospital, that's not that bad. I realize that there's some folks who are more vulnerable than others. That's going to be the case in any viral disease. That's true with flu. That's true with anything. So we do keep track of both numbers, but I don't want to panic because there's more cases. Because it seems as if, at this moment at least, the vaccines are doing their job and keeping people out of the hospital for the most part. Although there is a lag, right? We won't know for sure if this little surge is leading to high hospitalization numbers for a few more days. As of today, the average number of new cases per day in the past 7 days is 621. Now, that's only 314 new cases today, but that's Monday's always low, right? There's over 1,550 on Friday, which is kind of pushing the whole average up. The positive test rate statewide is 4.3% now. That's another one that's going up. That was just inching up slightly a little bit over the past couple weeks, and in the past 3 days has taken kind of a big jump up to 4.3%. You really want that positive test rate to be below 3, right? Now, so we are seeing more infection right now. This is probably, at least in part, due to the BA2 variant, which is the sort of Omicron plus, whatever you want to call it. It's still the Omicron variant. This is not Pi or Nu, or that. They're not going to give one new. It's not Pi. It's not Phi. It's not Rho. Any of those other new variants. We haven't got to those other Greek letters yet. Right? It's a subvariant of Omicron. When the big Omicron surge happened back in late December into January, there was only about a 3-week period, 2.5 weeks, when Omicron surge happened. It was very brief, really. We saw a lot of hospitalizations in that time, but we just did not see very many deaths in proportion to the number of cases. Right, the highest the daily average of deaths got was 39, which is a lot. And it was that level for a relatively brief period. It never approached 1% of cases leading to death. It was well below 1%, which is where alpha, beta, delta, all were right around 1% fatality, which is very high, right? 1% sounds low. It's very high. 1% fatality is 10 times more deadly than flu. Nothing, there's no joke, right? Omicron seems to me to be about as deadly as flu. We'll know that more looking back on it in a couple of years, but it looks to me that that's about the case. And that's partly because it's just less severe, but it's partly also because it's infecting a lot of vaccinated people who get sick for a day and then are fine, right? So in any case, so what that leads to then is there's a surge in cases, 621 per day. That's higher than it has been. That's where we were in early March on our way back down from Omicron. Before that, we were here. This is where we were back like in July of last year when things were so relatively low. But that slight increase in cases has not yet translated into hospitalizations. We're now at 147 people hospitalized. That is exactly where we were a week ago. Literally a change of 0 from a week ago. It's 4 fewer than yesterday, which means Starting a week ago, we're at 147. It went down a little bit, went up a little bit, went down, and now we're at 0. We're at 147 for the whole week. Current ICU patients is 27. That was 26 on Friday. Okay, that's gone up by 1, not a meaningful difference. So we haven't seen a surge in people being hospitalized. Our daily average of deaths is still at 3. Now that's deaths confirmed, right? These are deaths that have confirmed today that happened within the past month. So if there is an increase in the death rate, we won't see that for a couple more weeks. Hospitalizations we should be seeing tomorrow or Wednesday, just because this increase has been happening for a couple of weeks now. So if we're going to see an increase in hospitalizations, it will come this week. Let's cross our fingers and hope that doesn't happen. And hope that this is just a bunch of mild cases among vaccinated people. If that's all the surge is, that's fine. Right? If you haven't got that booster, you can get it done. And if you feel like you want to mask up, do so. If you see people wearing masks and you think that's absurd, keep that thought to yourself. We don't need to hear it. Let people do what they need to do, right? So that's the COVID news. We're going to take a short pause. We'll be back with more news, some local stuff, some good stuff you want to hear about right after this message from Madison College.
Apply yourself this summer. At Madison College, we encourage you to be your truest self. You're an empowered persuader. You exude positivity, and you're not afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Whether it's cool clothes or hot music, your friends count on you to zhuzh it up. For you, life is all about creating a brighter future. And at Madison College, we can't wait to see what you do. Apply yourself this summer.
All right, in the news today, Shalicia Johnson is a Madison photographer who had, again this year, I think this is maybe her 3rd or 4th year doing this, the March Madness style cute dog competition where she photographs the dogs. Normally she does like a photo session for your dog and charges a professional rate to do so. She donated these, and in exchange for a donation to Caesar's Promise, which is an organization that researches and supports people dealing with canine cancer, right? Your dog is a member of your family. Your dog gets cancer. That's a devastating thing. Like, this is something around it. So Shalicia does this fundraiser every year. The winner, if you're wondering, the winner of the vote for the cutest dog around is Domino. He looks like a very good boy, right? The ultimate cutie, get it? But Shalicia was able to rustle up $3,600 for Caesar's Promise through that fundraiser. A lot of fun. Dave Dahmer, our editor-in-chief, has that story at Madison365.org. Also on the site today, beloved restaurant on Willie Street is closing, but not completely. It is Lao Long Zhang's Willie Street location. It's been there for 25 years. And at this moment, they survived the pandemic, but now they can't quite survive staffing shortages and a difficulty in finding somebody who can replicate the founder and the head chef's traditional Laotian cuisine. So they're consolidating operations into their Atwood Avenue location. That'll still remain open. You can go support that business. But Rodland May Banting had some reflections and talk with the owners about closing down that Willie Street location in Madison. I thought I had one more thing on here. Nope, I did not. I will mention also that Forward Madison, we learned on Friday, and I didn't get a chance to tell you all this yet, will be hosting Major League Soccer side Minnesota United in the U.S. Open Cup. The third round of up until the pandemic, was the second longest running soccer tournament in the world. It involves all the professional and many of the amateur teams in the United States. And by virtue of a 3-0 win over Cleveland SC in the second round, Madison moved on to the third round, where they will host Minnesota United. And if they pull off a win there, that would be quite legendary. They would move on to probably face another MLS side. Other than that, that's all I have for you for today. Again, the COVID case numbers are looking higher, but the consequence numbers, the hospitalizations and deaths, are not. So we're going to hope that holds. But either way, we'll keep track of it for you. We'll be back tomorrow with more news for you. We'll have the podcast in the morning as well. And until then, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Have a wonderful evening. It's a beautiful one. Enjoy it. Talk to you soon.
This is 365 Media.